Hello, friends. It's time for Talk 4 Dodge, the show that uncovers the stories behind the houses and the heart of our community. I'm Jeremiahjcondon.
And I'm Todd McCubbin, and today we are here with Zwink, and she brought wine. You gotta love it.
Can't go anywhere without wine.
We'll have samples, but before we have samples, let's do a quick market update.
Market update. I tell you what, it feels a lot busier than last year.
Oh, yeah.
The numbers aren't proving it. Our median prices have gone up, but our average sales have gone down 1,500.
Oh.
But the average days on market has dropped again, which tells me things are getting a little busier.
It seems to be getting busier. It's just crazy. I mean, we have a ton of closings going on right now. Myrna, our office manager, is just beside herself trying to keep up. So it's getting pretty
Things are
exciting.
busy.
Yeah.
It's just getting busier. So that's good. Featured house, 1627 8.5 Avenue North, listed for $1,099. That's a tough price range that people want.
It is.
So
They seem to go fast. And
it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square feet on the main level, another 403 upstairs.
Yep.
Kind of like a family area and a 3rd bedroom back there.
Yep.
And it's very nice. It's move-in ready.
And that 8.5 Avenue North it's that narrow street. So it's kind of a narrow street. The sidewalks are kind of small, but everybody I know that lives on that street loves living on that street.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cozy. It's close. It's a little more intimate. It's kind of a weird neighborhood, but people love it.
The kids can kind of play in the street, and then it's so close to Dodger Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Where they can walk over and play and have fun. Speaking of that, let's talk about Fort Dodge Parks for 1 second. I printed. I wrote
Actually,
like with pen, I did not
works.
do this.
You can print with a
I
pen?
did it off memory. So I listed a whole bunch of parks. So what I'm going to do, and you can jump in too.
Okay.
I'm going to say a park, and you say what it's known for, like what you would go there for.
Okay.
Okay. Easy. I'll start off easy. Snell Crawford Park.
Running.
Kids with they're taking the grandkids to play in the big set right there. And
Yes.
the trails.
Yep.
Trails.
Yep. That just said running. And okay, Holly Park.
That makes me think of like old, like soccer games like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because there's like one lion or something there, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Not much.
Still.
I just think of Expo
One
Pool
basketball
'cause
court.
that's where Expo Pool was, and it was
No.
close.
Exposition Park. I'll skip to that one.
Yeah, pool.
Yeah, pool.
But they're
is
close.
no
they're
longer there.
neighbors.
Yeah, they're like right there.
They're very close.
You'd hit them both.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
All right. Kennedy Park.
Camping.
Yep.
We go camping out there a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. And Veterans Park, we had Minky on last time. So,
cool.
you got to think about Veterans Park when you think about that out there.
Last year we took the kids fishing, and I swear to Christ, you throw it in, you catch a fish. It's about that big. You throw it back, you'll catch the same fish again.
But they're all new fish, right?
They are.
Yeah,
They
they
are.
drained that not too long ago, so they're all...
They are all new fish, and there's a lot in there, and it is fun taking the kids because they just kept catching them. You just keep releasing them.
That's when fishing's fun with kids, is when they can just catch and roll, just in and out, in and out, and in and out.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's fun. We're like, when you have like 6 kids out there, you're just like running around like their head cut
You
off.
don't fish, they do.
Yeah. Loomis Park.
Oh, that stupid hill. Riding your bike up that hill.
Yeah.
Oh, I can
Your
think
old man bike.
I have an electric bike, so I can't.
It's like, I can't get my bike up the hill. I'll just push the button harder.
There you go.
Mine doesn't have a button. Mine's the one you have to pedal.
Loomis is really
Okay.
cool because it's the whole length of Loomis is on part of the bike trail. So it is really cool. And then not only that, but it's the most beautiful views in all of town
It is.
with the river.
It is. And it's got the biggest jungle gym.
Yep.
Yeah. It's fun to go down there once in a while. Reynolds Park.
Which one's Reynolds Park?
It's over by Duncombe School.
Oh, yeah, Reynolds Park.
It's just one big block.
Cool playground.
It is cool playground.
Great.
And lots of kids. It
Yeah.
always seems to be busy because there's so many of those $120,000 houses around there that's a starter home area.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like huge community. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Olson
Good
Park.
community.
I was going to say pool, but it's splash pad now.
Splash
Splash
pad.
pad. Yeah, splash pad. Pool.
And the zoo.
Yep.
Zoo.
The zoo was cool out there.
Band shell.
Yeah.
The band shell. That's the big one.
You ever played in the band shell?
No.
I just wondered.
Hydroelectric Park.
That's the rest of my family, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Hydroelectric.
Damn.
That was good.
That was good. That was real good.
Oh, I think a hydroelectric park, and what I think of is Dr. Mickey is still a city councilman, and we're talking about building Shiny Top, and he goes, "You should build Shiny Top in the old dam building." And I go out there, and the roof's collapsing. There's money to do over the river. I'm like, I don't care how much money.
I think you should do it.
It's gonna work.
Sounds awesome.
Pickleball courts.
They have those down there.
They're down there.
There's a couple down there.
I didn't know that.
Wow. I didn't know that
Place to
either.
go play.
I know they have softball fields because somebody had that practice there last year. And I didn't know that was down there. So that was kind of nice.
Cool.
Okay. That's all I got.
That was really fun.
That is cool.
Go through all the little parks.
Yeah.
Bring back memories.
Yeah.
It's funny, they all bring back different memories too. It's the first thing you think about, but you think, oh yeah, and being a realtor, I sold the house right there next to there at Reynolds Park. And I go, oh yeah, Shimcats had that house and that house over there.
Yeah, and it's like when you're at Reynolds Park, it's kind of nice when you have one of those listings and you're showing it. And it's like, hey, look, there's a park right across the street. Who cares what your backyard looks like? Like, go play.
Yeah, that's right. Get out of the house. Be like when I was a kid.
Go
They
meet people.
wouldn't let you back in.
Yep.
Street lights aren't on yet. You can't come back in the house.
Yeah.
Good job, Fort Dodge, having so many cool parks.
Yeah.
And there's more too, but those are,
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's get into the good part of this podcast. Tell us about yourself, Ann.
Oh, hi.
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 She's here.
it's the wine lady.
I'm Ann Zwink. I grew up here in Fort Dodge. I've lived here my whole life, minus school and internship and my first little bit of job. And then I came back when I was 25. And
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school in Indiana at Purdue University.
Okay.
And then I got my master's in Washington State at Washington State University.
Nice.
And then I worked in California, and then I came back.
Did you intern anywhere cool in California? Or was it just a little, wasn't like...
I'm kind of embarrassed to talk about it out loud.
Oh, really?
They got you back here.
It was Modesto, which is super flat and super hot, and the home of Gallo.
Oh, okay.
So.
The home of Gallo.
Home of Gallo. I learned so much, though. And the biggest thing, the most important thing that I learned is that I wanted to come back to Iowa and make wine. And
Was that in wine country?
Please be over.
Modesto is, Gallo is the largest winery in the world.
Okay.
So, yes, it is. But nobody would know it because Modesto is not what you think of. You know, you think of Sonoma, you think of Napa, you think of Monterey County, you think of San Luis Obispo, but
Yeah.
but Gallo is.
I'm thinking of all the California wines I really like. And
Well, there's no better way to learn than go to like one of the big places and kind of check and see what they're doing.
Oh my
and
gosh,
how
and
they do it.
and they're doing everything. You know, they are the grandfathers, of the wine industry in the U.S. So
they're on the edge. They have the research labs. They have all that stuff that does everything.
Exactly.
In
Yep.
Fort Dodge, the research lab is sitting with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So I've been back since 2013 and working and living in Fort Dodge. My whole family's here. It's my dream job, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yay.
So how did Soldier Creek start?
So really back in 2007, my brother and my dad were both interested in planting grapes. So they were interested in the viticulture part of it. So back in 2007, my dad and my brother were interested in growing grapes. And so they decided to plant grapes. And I remember my dad called me my freshman year. It was not even just my freshman year. It was my first week of my freshman year, like Tuesday, my first week of classes. And he said, Robert and I are planting grapes this coming spring. We're going to eventually need a winemaker. And I literally changed my major at that moment from agronomy because I didn't know what I was maybe interested in soil science or something. I don't know. I'm a farm kid. I grew up on a farm.
That's right.
And I changed my major like Wednesday of my freshman year, first week classes to food science, which is where winemaking is housed at Purdue.
That's
So
cool.
So I moved over, and so they planted the grapes in 2007, and so we've had grapes they're on their 19th leaf this year. That's pretty crazy.
You guys have added on a lot too. I mean, it started out, it was just next to the house.
Yeah.
And south side of the house. And then it just kind of.
North side actually was the first little bit. It was kind of like hidden.
Okay.
Yeah. They were
That's why I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
you didn't. Yeah, you would never know. So there were like 5 acres on the north side. And then I came back in 2013 and we'd already had like 2 harvests since then. They had sold the grapes to another winery in the state. I came back in 2013. That was our first harvest under the Soldier Creek brand. And then in 2015, we planted more on the south side. And then, it seems like we're adding something new every single year.
How many acres of grapes do you have?
We have 10 now.
10 acres. How many plants is
Right. Oh, how many plants?
that? Or ish.
It's on like very roughly 650 plants per acre. So 6,500 plants.
Wow. And how much wine? I'm
Wow.
going to ask all kinds of different. I just think
I like
of
it.
how many bottles
So,
of wine?
so in a perfect world, 10 acres would produce about 35 ton.
35 tons of grapes.
Tons of grapes. Yep. And we don't, and so,
How much is
that's
a ton?
70, so that's 2,000 pounds per ton. so
What is 2,000 pounds?
70,000 pounds of grapes per year from our 10
Okay.
acres in a perfect world.
Okay.
And
how
it
much-
takes about 3 pounds of grapes to make 1 bottle of wine.
3 pounds?
Some more math.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wine.
Does this?
Yeah.
How come this doesn't weigh 3 pounds?
I don't know because, well, that does, well, it
Yeah,
does.
it probably does weigh
about
3 pounds. I know it does.
We,
Probably
everything
the
that we
glass.
took out, like all of the skins and the seeds and stuff was replaced with glass.
There you go.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
That's cool. And
Those are really rough numbers.
So we do 3 pound weights when we're.
yeah.
yeah, that's right. And you talked about varieties because I like different types of wines for different things. How
Yeah.
many varieties do you guys
So
have?
we grow 10 different varieties of grapes, but we make like 25 different styles of wine from those 10 varieties of grapes.
So the grapes are like different styles, have like 2 different kinds of grapes in them? Or how do you get different styles?
Yeah. So different styles would be different colors. So for instance, from a red grape, you can make a red wine or you can make a rosé wine like what we have now. Those are 2 different styles. We have different sweetness profiles. So from any of our grapes, you can make a dry style wine or a semi-sweet style wine or a sweeter style wine. We can do blends or we can do varietal wine. So a varietal wine is, just one single grape variety in that wine. And a blend would be multiple. We can do still or sparkling. So what I have in front of us is a still wine. That's what most of us think of when we think of wine. But a sparkling wine would be bubbly, have a little bit of fun.
Little champagne.
Yeah, a little fizziness to it.
Apple cider.
And we do apple ciders. We work with the orchard and make a hard cider with the.
Should we be
with the
trying
community
this
orchard.
while we're talking
Yes,
about
of
it?
course.
yeah.
I brought glasses. All of our wines are screw caps, so we don't even need a corkscrew.
That is really nice.
It's very convenient.
You got to hold the bottle from the bottom.
So
You look like
You
you've
can tell
done
I
that
poured a
before.
lot of wine.
you have poured a lot. You look like a regular sommelier.
You can tell everybody what a sommelier. I can't even say it. What that is.
A person who drinks a lot of wine.
I know people that go to wine tastings and stuff. How are you supposed to do it?
Oh,
Like, are
well,
you supposed to?
we have our fancy plastic cups here.
And Pinky's out.
Pinky's out. Well, first, I want to mention that I am not at all a wine snob. I love all wine. I do not discriminate against any wines at all. Whatever wine you put in front of me, it's going to be delicious and fun.
It's got its own story.
It has
not
its
wrong.
own story. And so if we had a glass, then we could maybe get more of an aroma, which is one of the first things that I would care about. Yeah, so Todd's covering his glass here. That's a great way
I'm not
to
a wine snob, am I?
hold in the aroma and then swirl it around a little bit to release the aromas into the headspace right above the
A little
wine.
fruity, a little
And then
flowery.
smell it. Yeah. So this is a rosé of Markket. So that's why it's called rosette.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah. It has some other varieties in
So
there
when
too.
you
So this is
smell, like, what
technically
are
a
you
blend.
supposed to be smelling for?
So you can smell for fruitiness. Red wines would typically have aromas that are reminiscent of red fruits that you're used to, like cranberry or cherry or raspberry or strawberry or currant or whatever red fruit you can think of.
You get a lot of like, I've heard people like leather and vanilla.
Yeah.
And some of those really dark red wines.
Right.
Leather.
So well, I mean, that's like getting deeper. So like the primary aromas are going to be like those fruitiness aromas, where whites would be more similar to white fruits that you would see. Pineapple is a common one. Lychee, pear, apple.
I had a Maui wine once, and it was all you could smell was pineapple.
It
was like this doesn't
probably
even
made
have
from
pineapple in it. You could smell
wasn't?
pineapple.
Oh, crazy! That's awesome. And then there's going to be like more muted aromas. So you might get some floral notes like lily, jasmine, rose is a common one. And then depending on how you age it. If you age it in barrels, especially if you age it on the skins, you're going to get all of these fun, like harder, like more complex aromas. Like
so you put it like in an oak barrel, a burnt oak barrel, so you can get some of those deeper colors.
Exactly, and then that's where you're going to get some of the smokiness, some leather, some aged characteristic there.
Yeah, for a guy that owns a brewery, I drink a lot of wine.
Okay, I have to tell you a story. So we just started a new, we have a new POS at the winery. And it tells us, our customers what they typically like to drink. And that's really convenient, so when they come in and they ask and they say, oh, I don't know what do I normally get? And then our hostess can say, oh, well, you usually get rosette. So here you go. Here's a glass. We were training our staff how to use it, and they were finding my profile on there, and it said most commonly purchased beer. I think that's how it is, though. When you're used to your product, you just need something else to. Like we just came off a week of bottling. We've been bottling like crazy for the last 3 days, and all I want at the end of the day is beer. I've been sampling the wine all day.
And I'm fine with whatever beer too, but no, yeah, Joyce, I just love doing this because beer is fine. You can go over beer, and usually you're somewhere. We were in Mexico, and you can find beer is your Dos Equis and the craft beer industry just isn't there, but the wines they still have those wines, so you can do the Mexican wine tastings or that kind of thing, and it's just kind of fun wine's just a little more fun all over the place than beer is. And tequila, of course, but.
Tequila.
I don't understand how people can tell like a difference with like if this was a good bottle or a bad bottle. I'd be like, oh, it's good. But
I think
you can tell right away.
It is personal preference. There is some background to that. Like there's a whole sensory study on wine faults, problems in the wine.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, and my mother-in-law is like a wine connoisseur. Like she loves it. She understands it. And they got like a $300 bottle, and it came. She took a drink, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, but it's defected. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Really? I'm so embarrassed.
I hate being with people that complain or send food back. I'm like, oh my gosh. So the owner of the restaurant comes over because it was like one of their nicer bottles.
Yeah.
And he comes over, he's like, do you mind if I try? And he goes, oh, ma'am, you're right. Like it is. And so he went and got a new bottle, came back, they opened it together, and he asked if it's okay if he has some too. They both do the whole thing. And it's like, oh yeah, this one's much better. Yeah. And they both agreed, and I was all happy. And I'm like, holy crap. Like I wouldn't have complained because I wouldn't have known. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you need one, I have one bottle of 2019 Opus 1 at home. Then. Yeah.
And to finish that story, like she loves her wine. At Costco, she buys the bottle that's $3.50 and buys it by the case. Yeah. It's like, that is the best wine. She lives in Arizona, so if she lived here, she'd have to get some of yours.
Joyce and I got into box wine for a while, and that's dangerous.
Yeah. Too easy.
It's 3 bottles.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're not out yet, so let's just have one more and one more. And yeah, thanks for not having box wine. I appreciate you for that.
We've had people ask for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I start boxing them up.
Yeah. Okay, so did you guys taste it yet?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
both already. I've only barely had a sip here. So we talked about the aroma already. But then this is a semi-sweet rosé, and I think it's you're looking for taste and balance and mouthfeel, and I think you're looking for acidity too.
This isn't real acidic.
It's not. No.
No, it's pretty tame.
Yeah. But what's fun about this rosette too is that the sweetness in this is all natural grape sweetness. We arrested fermentation before it was done fermenting, which is kind of atypical, I think, for Midwestern winemaking. Usually we ferment to dryness and then add sweetness back after, right before bottling. But in this case, we stopped fermentation, and so all of the sugar in here is just natural grape sugars.
All right, I'm going to have to dump.
Awesome.
How do you stop fermentation?
Well,
Because usually once it's in there, the little yeast are just going to keep eating and eating and eating.
they really do.
Do you
Yeah.
have to freeze it? Do you have to?
Yes, basically. Yeah. So we stuck it in our walk-in cooler, slow it down as much as possible, add sulfites on the back of the bottle. It says contain sulfites. That's basically what those are. They don't stop yeast, but they'll inhibit them from continuing on
Okay.
as much as they can. And then we filtered it. So filter out as much of the yeast as possible, and then just keep it cool until we bottled it.
So is it possible this should still be fermenting in the bottle because you didn't get all the yeast out?
No, because right at bottling, we sterile filter it. So it is completely sterile.
Okay. I ask all kinds of really complicated.
Those are great questions. I
You can
love
tell
it.
we have a brewery.
I love it, yeah.
It's like, I'm like, how do these work? And he goes, well, the yeast, it kind of like eats the sugar, and well, it kind of pees out alcohol, and it kind of farts gas. So, I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, in very basic term, I guess.
Well, that's how smart I was at the time. So you had to have something that wasn't,
That's great.
How do I explain this to a 3-year-old? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, very good. Oh, I thought somebody was explaining that to you.
Yeah, Nate was explaining it to me. He's like, we got to make this simple because Todd's not going to get this. Typical day at the winery. I mean, there's different times a year. There's harvest, there's bottling, like you're talking about. What's a typical? I mean, I know it goes in seasons. So
Season.
harvest season. What's a typical harvest day like?
Okay, so harvest, which is end of August until beginning of October. Harvest is wake up before dawn, meet our harvester out in the vineyard. Our harvester is local too. He lives in Clare, and he brings his mechanical harvester out to our vineyard. So we'll meet him before dawn, and he starts harvesting grapes. And then he's done with an acre in an hour or so. It's really
wow.
quick. And then,
So it's a day or two process, depending on weather.
10 days.
Well, I
really-
guess
10
it's
acres.
varieties, so it's going to
You
be
were-
one variety at a time.
That's right. It's going to be
I'm
one
better at
variety at a
math than
time,
him.
and we would only do what variety is ready at the time.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a 6-week process, because, some varieties are ready late August and other varieties aren't ready until early October.
That makes sense.
So,
I thought about my question as I was asking it.
yeah. So, no, I mean, that's very, yeah. So we'll meet him out at the vineyard. He'll harvest the grapes. We'll process the the acre of grapes all at once. And that requires lots of sanitation. So we have big machines out in our crush pad. We will sanitize all of our machines. And then once all the grapes come in, we have a fork truck that dumps the grapes into the first elevator machine. And then the elevator machine will take the grapes up into a destemmer, and that removes any excess stems and like any things that came in.
How
with
do the grapes not break during that whole process, or
During
do they
the-
all break nonstop? Or?
during the harvest?
Yeah.
Well, they do break a little bit, but in general, every grape variety is different. but most of our grape varieties have pretty thick skins, and they'll actually come off as full berries from the vineyard. There's a couple that are really thin-skinned, and so they're already pre-juiced by the time they make it into the winery 5 minutes later.
I think about the dumbest things. I'm like in the produce aisle, and I'll look at grapes. I'll be like, how the heck did those grapes get from the farm, thrown in, then thrown into a bag, and then thrown there, then thrown in a truck, and then thrown into Fort Dodge grocery store, and then it's like, oh.
And there's still a grape.
And you have all these grapes, and none of them are smashed. It's like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, well, I think that, first of all, table grapes that you eat are different. Number one, they're going to be completely hand harvested. Though there's no way that those could be mechanically harvested. They need to be hand harvested so that you have the whole stem on there and that they're being gentle. But then also, like, table grapes have been bred for their thick skin so that they can be transported across the country.
Okay.
That makes sense. Have you ever made wine out of table grapes just to see what it tastes like?
Nope.
Okay.
But you know who has? Duck Dynasty.
Oh, did they?
One of the episodes, like, in the first season.
That'd be like drinking a soda pop, wouldn't it? With all the sugar in those things?
Those have less sugar than regular wine grapes.
Really?
They actually had to, I remember in that episode, they had to add sugar because they're less sweet than wine grapes. If you come out and have a wine grape, you'll be like, oh, wow, this is way sweeter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do your eyes light up and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And then you have a sugar high by like 7 a.m. because you had
It's
a
better than
handful of
coffee.
grapes.
It's like 1 o'clock. You're getting a little tired. It's like,
Yeah.
wow,
So that's
I'm
harvest.
No
so
joke.
I'm back.
I got this. So once harvest is done, you move into separating the grapes and doing all that.
Yeah, so harvest, and this is all still in the same first day. We're separating the grapes. We're putting them into the press. We're pressing all of the juice out of the skins. If it's a red wine, we'll leave it on the skins for like 5 days or something, and then we'll press it. Thank you. Yeah, and then once we have the juice, then it goes into one of the tanks in the fermentation room. And that's our new production area.
And it's really nice. I was out there for the ribbon cutting.
Thank you.
I didn't take Nate on purpose because he was going to be jealous.
Yeah.
So
It's my happy place. You have no idea. Like, this is why it's my dream job. I'm so happy to be out there now with, it's like a dedicated space.
I didn't even get to be out there. That was kind of my happy place. I'm like, I know what that does and this does. Oh, this is so cool and it's so clean and
fun.
everything is easy to get to. And
Yes.
yeah, Shiny Top's actually built on 2 levels because we do stuff in the basement because the building wasn't big enough. So I'm trying to find at some point in time somewhere where we can get everything on 1 level and a nice floor, but it's just taking time.
Yeah.
It's probably nice the way it worked out that you could like build it the way you need it.
Yeah.
Because if you would have built it 10 years ago, it might not have been exactly what you needed or wanted.
Case in point, our current tasting room, which was built as the production room.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we started in 2012, the building was, the winery was built. And that was when the building was brown and we had white trim. And if you can picture that, that's
Lots
like
of
our
steel
old,
and echoey.
and it still is that.
Yeah.
It still is that. We haven't changed that part yet. We're working on it. Maybe it'll
Gives it
it'll
character
come.
though.
Well,
Yeah.
wear your earplugs.
I'm not there every day.
So when we built the building in 2012, we thought that it would be like a winery in Napa or Sonoma where people come and they see all of the production and they stop at the bar and they taste. They're like all picture people standing at the bar and tasting the wine and saying, "Oh, I love this one and this one and this one. Okay, and I'm going to go home with 4 of each of those," and they'll take a case home. Right? That is not how wine
they
works.
do it in
Shiny
Iowa.
Top did the same thing.
Yes, I remember, and we were starting at a similar time, weren't we?
Almost exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, people will show up at the brewery. They're
So this is what they do in Napa Valley,
Take
but-
their growler home.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what they do everywhere in the country. We've been
the world.
everywhere.
But Iowa farmers
Yeah.
just don't give a
No, it's
hoot
not
about
that.
It's just a different market.
It's a different market, and honestly, it's kind of like we're on the cutting edge way of consumption of alcohol now. So I'll get into that in a second, but like we learned very quickly that that's not what people do. They do not take home a case and enjoy it over the next 12 days. That's not what they do.
Nope.
They want to come and they want to be entertained and they want to sit and enjoy a glass, or in your case, they want to enjoy their evening and have food and have their beer with their food, and that's what they want.
then come
And
back and do it
entertainment
again.
too.
Well, and we
And then
changed
come
our
back and do it
license.
again.
We had
Yeah.
to change our license from a brewery to a brew pub, just because that's what people want.
That's
They
what
want to
people
come in
want.
there and they want to be more of a little entertainment atmosphere and
Right.
fun and
Yeah. And so we learned really quickly, like when we started, it was just a tasting area. And then we had like stanchions, to keep people
Yeah,
out of the
don't go here.
winemaking area.
Don't
And
go
then
there.
we kept moving the stanchions back, and then we kept putting in more tables, and then move the stanchions back a little bit more, and then the tanks keep getting like more and more cramped in the back, until finally it was during COVID actually, when everything was going crazy with alcohol production and sales. We said we do not have enough space. We cannot handle constantly moving our furniture in on Friday and then out again on Sunday so that we can move our winemaking equipment in. Because that's what we were doing. We were moving furniture.
And those fermenters, you really don't want to move them. You want to let them sit and let them do their thing. You don't want to shake them up and do all that stuff.
Right. But we were moving them constantly. It was such a pain in the butt. And we had some that were like kind of permanent in place, and they just kept encroaching on our space that we could be having to entertain. And then half of our time was moving furniture.
Yeah.
Yep.
So finally, it was 2022 that we broke ground on our new production space. And now we have a dedicated space for production and a dedicated space for entertaining. And we're going to redo the entertainment space, so it'll be nice and not so echoey, hopefully, soon.
Well, even
and we're adding bathrooms.
I told your dad about Shiny Top. That'll be nice.
That will be nice. Won't that be nice? Okay, you were saying about Shiny Top?
Your dad came into Shiny Top, and he goes, it actually sounds pretty good in here. And I'm like, yeah, he put all these things on the ceiling and everything else, and it's just fabric with quilt batting behind them. And then, of course, the fire marshal made me spray this non-flammable stuff on it.
Oh, smart,
And I'm like, it really deadened the room, so you can actually have live music. And I go out to the winery, and he's got above the little square things. He put that up there, and I'm like, he's going to need about 10 times more.
Yeah, they barely made a dent. They made a little bit of a dent, but not a lot. So anyway,
you got to have a lot of stuff on the walls or a lot of cloth to help soak up sound to make it sound good.
And just so you guys know, we do have plans. We've been working with a designer who's part of my husband's family, and she's been helping us design what our plans are for the future. So please keep your eyes out. We do hope to.
It'll be cool. Everything you do out there is cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's just such a great place to hang out. And, I don't get out there as much as I should because we got a lot of stuff going on all the time.
Well, speaking of going out there, we've had 100 people on the show. 99. This is 99th episode, I think.
Yeah.
And how many times have we talked about the trails?
He talks about them almost all the time.
I love everybody. The trails is amazing.
Have Cosgrove on here and not talk about the trails.
And now you are a big part of the trail system now.
We're so excited. Yeah. So the trail opened right before winter, right?
Yeah.
Right out to the winery. We were just reminded that we need to get bike racks. So we're going to do that. But yeah, you can ride your bike out almost all the way to the winery.
Once they get the bridge done.
That's going to be another thing. You're going to have a problem. You're going to put it in. You're going to put a really nice bike rack. It's going to hold 6 bikes. And then it's going to be like, we have to do another 6 bikes.
One of our biking friends said, don't worry about it. You can just put like PVC arms and then a rope across them, and that'll be good enough.
We don't care.
Yeah.
I'll get my e-bike out there.
Yeah.
It'll be a conversation. Todd, you can't ride your e-bike home.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on, bud.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That thing will go like 40 miles an hour down.
Before you know it, we're going to have the sheriff on bicycles riding by.
Flamer will be out there. Bud, come on.
So speaking of the trails coming out to the winery, the Prairie Rivers Trail Ride, they're working with us and Tractor Lift in Humboldt now to put together another ride that's going to be in June. And it will start at the winery and ride the roads up to Tractor Lift and hang out at Tractor Lift and have lunch and then come back to the winery. So that's going to be, I forget what it's called, Vine and Tap Bike Tour or something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be really fun. And then the intention is that, right now you can take the trails up to Badger, but the intention is in the future.
They want to go all the way to Humboldt.
They're going to go all the way up to Humboldt.
Yep.
So in the future, this ride will be able to be all on trails.
You ever done the High Trestle
That is
Trail?
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. We've done it twice. And you get there, you park. We always park in the middle, Madrid.
Yeah.
And go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And one time I'm like, we can do both ways. And we get back. It's almost pitch black. Thank God that bike has a light on the front of it. I'm like, that was dumb.
Did you run out of electricity?
No, I had plenty of electricity, but I put my bike helmet on top of the tire because we took my Jeep that had the bike rack on it, and I forgot it was there and ran over my helmet. So I had to buy a new helmet.
No.
And the new one sucks.
Oh.
I like the old one better. But
It's tragedy.
yeah,
It is a tragedy.
Chris Walker was okay because I had to go to the bike shop and buy another helmet. So
Oh, yeah.
it worked out
So he's
okay.
happy.
Someone wins.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that is really nice having the bike trail going right out there.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm going to love it.
Same.
And the Harley's fun to ride out there too, but once again, you don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want to drink too much when you're on that.
I know. You guys, I'm so excited for spring and summer. I mean, is it summer yet? It's something. It was 70
something.
last week.
Looks like this weekend might be nice. It's Saturday.
So did
Go out to the winery.
hail hurt out there at all?
No, they didn't. That hailstorm that came through, it was in my neighborhood too. The farm had nothing.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
We're lucky.
Yeah. Some people got it pretty good. It's going to be...
Because something like that could really back you up,
It's a huge problem. I mean, I know there's definitely vineyards in the state who they were planning on selling their grapes to me, and then they said, well, we just got hailed on, and so now we have no crop. It completely can decimate you.
Yeah.
Oh, quick. Well, just like
you don't even
cornfields. I
know.
mean, you saw the
Where would you even
pictures
go?
of...
Yeah.
They end up on TV with a cornfield just laying
Right.
flat. The same thing with grapes. It's not going to... Yeah, agriculture is really weather dependent.
It's tough, and not a lot of people have, not a lot of vineyards have crop insurance.
Really?
So do you do any events for like smashing the grapes?
We have in the past.
When I think of wine making
Yeah.
grapes, it's always like people's nasty feet in there, like
He's thinking of Lucille Ball trying to stomp grapes.
random nasty people.
Yeah, we used to do a grape stomp in the past. We haven't done it now in 2 years. But it...
You kind of waste those grapes because you can't use them afterwards.
That's just it. I mean, all of the grapes that we used to stomp, we did not use. I think some wineries do use them.
Okay.
Let me know
And
which
that's
one
okay.
so I don't go there.
Well, I mean,
just kidding. You gotta-
it can be okay, you know. I mean, for some places,
Yeah.
that's like part of the whole wine terroir.
Yeah. Toenail?
It's not
Sorry.
me.
Another wine thing. This is so off topic. You ever watch the movie Sideways?
Yes.
A long time, but yeah.
I love
And
it.
Fraser was awesome
Oh my
in Sideways.
I love it
It's
because
the only reason I want to go to Sodoma.
so being in the restaurant business, I thought it was hilarious because I think of like Pinot Grigio being white, Pinot Noir is red,
Yep.
and like at the very beginning when they get in the car, he looks at him and is like, I have a bottle of Pinot Grigio and it was dark, and he goes, "Why is it dark?" And he's like, "Well, that's my example. You cannot ask dumbass questions like that for the rest of this tour." I was like, I was asking the same question. That's
I kind of
hilarious.
was wondering.
Oh my gosh. Man, I think I need to rewatch that because I don't know any of the quotes from it.
It's
All I
so
remember
good.
is that in general, he hated Pinot Noir.
No, Merlot.
Merlot.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And
That makes more
that's back
sense.
when I used to read Maxim magazine. And they had the top 20 movie drinkers of all time, you know, and it had like the Big Lebowski, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
the Kahlua and cream, right? Or the
Yeah.
White Russian.
White Russian.
And then it had that guy from Sideways, and
Yeah.
it said, not effing Merlot. He liked them all, but it was not Merlot.
I can't say Merlot's my favorite, but I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I'll drink it if it's what's in front of me, but it's just, I think to me, it's just, as I said before, I don't discriminate. So I'm not going to not drink it. But in general, I think I'm just bored with it, you
Yeah.
know?
So what is your number one top selling wine
Okay. Top selling wine.
or most popular?
Most
I'd probably
popular.
say.
Well, we in Iowa are huge fans of dessert. So
Yeah.
I would say our sweet wines. Hey,
Sorry.
no discrimination.
I was in Germany. I was stationed in Germany for 3 years. And I did before I drank wine. And they brought out ice wine. And I'm like, well, I could drink this because, of course, I hadn't. It's an acquired taste to get used to a lot of different wines.
Yeah.
But yeah, you start with that ice wine. You're like, this is like candy. And I
It
drank like
is.
2, and it was expensive. You think it's expensive in Germany, ice wine, where it was actually frozen on the stem because it was the only way they could do it at the time. And they told you all these stories. And I'm like, oh my God, this is good. I could drink it all day long. And then now I'm like, what's the driest wine you have?
Yeah, right.
Because I'm like a dry red
Yeah.
is what I like.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I'm being honest. You know, our best selling wine is our sweet.
So it's kind of like this?
No,
or,
well, even this, I would say that most people
'Cause
in
it's a
our
little more in the
area
dry.
they would call this medium sweet, and some people would still think that this is not sweet enough.
do you put this on the back of all your bottles?
Yes.
I
Yep.
love that.
Yeah, so we have a sweetness scale that we put on the back of every single one of our labels. It tells you if the wine is going to be dry, if it's going to be sweet, if it's semi-sweet. And I think that's really important because a lot of the varieties of grapes that we grow in Iowa are not well known. So they don't have like a usual.
I put my mark on there.
He wants to be in dry territory.
A little more than dry.
So they don't have a usual way of making this grape variety. So I think it's really important in a young region like Iowa to, or a young winemaking region that is, to be very explicit. You know, what style of wine is this?
Yeah.
Because Brianna, for instance, is a grape variety that we have. You can see this grape variety in a sweet form or in a semi-sweet form, or we just started making a dry Chardonnay style, dry oaked white.
Is it ready? Can I come try it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll be out.
It's called Amica.
Okay, you can throw it in my box with the case of wine I probably haven't picked up. Because I'm in the wine club and Joyce and I don't get out to the winery enough. And last time they're like, you have 2 cases of wine here.
We will happily deliver that to you, Todd.
You can bring it to the brewery if you're in town.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, drop it off with Nate.
I'll drop it
He'll
off
be
with
like,
Nate.
okay, here.
Here you go.
So are there
Have some
any
wine.
retail stores in Fort Dodge that sells your wine?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The Hy-Vees, both Hy-Vees.
I knew this answer. I just wanted our
Oh, well, then why don't
listeners
you
to
tell me?
know.
Yeah.
Why didn't you
I
tell
would
me?
have said Hy-Vee because that's the only place I go. So I don't know.
Both the Hy-Vees, Fairway, Karen's Spirits and Wine.
So
I'm
all the
sure
major
there's more,
players.
but that's not my job. I'm sorry.
There's like a
that's not my
target. Do you go
portion.
out
No.
further? I mean, it's more of a regional thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so like...
It's
so we
Casey selling it.
have- no. Come on. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Casey's,
We'll
where you
come
at?
and go. Or,
Nope.
Quick Star.
Quick Star. We got to get a hold of Quick Star, see if we can get it in there.
Maybe.
The gas station with carts.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think no.
Where the milk's cheaper than the grocery store.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, so our local retailers are really spectacular for us. You know, we're only open on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if somebody wants our wine and they know that we're closed, it's really nice to know that they can go to a retailer and it's going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I will say, like, Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits has almost every single one of our wines, so they have the biggest selection. But sometimes it's more convenient just to do your wine shopping while you're at the grocery store too. So you can get like the regulars, the most popular ones at regular Hy-Vee, Fairway.
Awesome.
Yeah. But we do wholesale around the state. We have a big van that we had wrapped. It's a really fun van. The intention for the van is that we're gonna put a bar in the slide out door of the van so
Yeah.
that we can drive up to farmers markets and taste out the wine, and then you can take the wine home directly from us. But right now we're just using it 100% for wholesaling. We have an employee, Gina. She does all the wholesaling for us. She's a rock star.
That's
Awesome.
cool.
She drives around the state. She loves doing it. I remember one time I went with her and she said, I'm going to stop at this one place and just ask if they want to carry wine. And I said, okay, I'm going to hang out in the van because that's like my worst nightmare. I'm not
It's like cold calling.
No
Yeah.
way.
Not even if I'm here.
This is why I hire somebody else to sell our wine, because I would not sell it. I'd be like,
Just leave me in the warehouse.
Here you go. You think you
I'll
want
be in
this?
my happy place. Oh, that's cool.
Anyway,
So,
Wonderful.
events going on during the week. I know you have music on Sundays,
music is on Fridays.
Fridays.
Yep.
Didn't you do Sundays too?
We did. We are actually not having music on Sundays anymore.
All right.
So don't come for music on Sundays in the afternoon, but do come for bingo on Sundays. Every other Sunday in the afternoon we have bingo, and that's
Do
super
people get
entertaining.
intense?
It's entertaining. it's fun. It's like it's more of
Do you
a
have to have like bodyguards?
silly joke. It's more like this
Yeah.
than it is about gaming for bingo. But there are definitely prizes. We partner with a different
Nonprofit.
nonprofit. Yeah, I don't know if they're all nonprofits, so that's why I say
They have
that.
to be a nonprofit to do bingo.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm sure somebody in the winery knows that and they've figured that out. But again, that's not part of my job.
Not your job. I get it.
So we partner with different people, and they so bring an item for those organizations, and then you get a bingo card,
Perfect.
and then you win prizes.
Cool.
Love it.
Sunday.
But yeah, music on Fridays, every Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. and it's free. So come out, enjoy some wine,
There you go.
taste some wine.
This is good. I was thinking it was going to be like a white Zinfandel just because of the color, and I do not like white Zinfandel.
Oh,
And
really?
This is really good.
Oh, thanks.
It's smoother.
It is smooth.
It is smooth.
Awesome.
And
Well, we're going to sit here and drink wine.
I know, I'm feeling it now.
Yep. So I'm just going to stand with this. Thank you for being here today. This has been a lot of fun. And we had a whole list of questions
I
that
know.
didn't ask any of
I
them.
was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any.
So
of these
I would like to
questions.
say thank you for bringing such a good business and a good thing to Fort Dodge.
Thank you.
That was very well needed, and it's probably something we never knew that we needed.
That's right.
It's been really fun, and we're here to stay.
I did have one. You have a podcast too. What's that called?
Oh, yeah. So Randall Voss, who is the Iowa State Extension viticulturist, and I have a podcast called Unwrapping Wine, where we unwrap new varieties and novel varieties that you haven't typically heard of. So we don't talk about Merlot. We don't talk about Pinot. We talk about Markket, and we talk about Brianna, and we have one that we're just discussing that we want to talk about called Aramella, and that's not a variety that is even grown around here. And
I'm shaking my head like this.
Yeah,
But really, I'm like, I don't know how to shake my head. Like,
yeah,
I don't know any of those things.
So,
Gotta learn.
It's really fun because these are all varieties that are not mainstream, but they're so, if you see it around, it might be fun to try. And most people probably wouldn't try it because they say, well, I don't know what that is. But that's why we do the podcast.
So you got to try it.
Let people know.
And educate
you gotta try
it.
it. And they're really fun. So
Awesome. And on both podcasts, remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell on YouTube, and make sure you get a new one every time they come out. So
And comment.
And comment.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thanks for
Thank
being here,
you.
Ann. We appreciate
thank you guys for having me.
You're awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's a wrap at today's episode of Talk Fort Dodge.
Stay connected with us on social media and join us next time as we continue exploring Fort Dodge's stories through the lens of two lifelong Dodgers. I'm Jeremiahjcondon.
And I'm Todd McCubbin, and this is Talk Fort Dodge.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.